morning. So I hope you're keeping well. Today we are reading Free and Undeserved. I'm reading from Romans 11 verse 6 and it reads, "And since it is through God's kindness, then it is not by their good works. For in that case God's grace would not be what it really is, free and undeserved." I love the Apostle Paul's description of God's grace, free and undeserved. When you truly experience this free and undeserved favour and love from God, you don't have to worry about performing. His love and unmerited favour within you will flush out all the wrong thinking and wrong believing, and you will produce good works, true fruits of righteousness that are lasting, sustainable and enduring. You may have heard a teaching going around where grace is defined as divine empowerment. Be careful about defining grace as merely empowerment. That is diluting and reducing what grace truly is. Grace produces divine empowerment, but in and of itself, the essence of grace is God's undeserved, unmerited, and unearned favour. When are you in your most undeserving state? When you have failed. Unmerited favour means that when you have failed, you are in your most undeserving state, and you can receive Jesus' favour, blessings, love, and perfect acceptance in your life. Let me tell you, when you understand and receive grace as God's unmerited favour, not only will you be empowered, but you'll be changed from the inside out. The real danger with defining grace as just divine empowerment is that we subconsciously flip grace around, and instead of seeing it as God's work in our life, we make it our work. From being centered on what Jesus has done, the erroneous definition of grace as empowerment swings it to being about what you must do and how you must perform now, and that you have received His grace. This kind of divine empowerment. Can you see this? With such a definition of grace, the onus is to live the Christ life falls squarely on your shoulders. Sorry, I stumbled over my words there. But basically, if we see it as empowerment, then we're looking at grace almost as works. It's what we do. We are empowered to do this and that. But when we see grace as God's unmerited favour, we receive from God. And when we receive from God, then we're empowered to go out and do all that we need to do. So we are empowered because of grace, but its essence is the unmerited, undeserved, unearned favour of God. And it's when we fail that we are most deserving of grace. You know, a perfect person doesn't need grace. I think of my kids, and when they're behaving wonderfully, you know, we just kind of have a lovely day. But like today, it's been a challenge, and they're hard work, and they're arguing, and the day's hardly begun, and there's a lot of grace needed because of failed state, I guess. And when we fail, we must never run away from God. Actually, we need to train our brains to remember that when we fail, God's grace is super abounding. Where sin abounds, grace super abounds. You know, so we must remember that. Mustn't run away from God, we must run to Him. My friend, make sure that what you believe in your heart always points you back to Jesus, and Jesus alone, not to yourself. Remember, it is all about His work, His doing, His performance, and His love in our lives. It never points back to you. Don't be hoodwinked by those who move away from the pristine definition of grace as God's unmerited favour and end up making it all about you and what you need to do. That's not grace. Grace is God doing, from inception all the way to the end. And that's so true. You know, Jesus is the author and finisher, perfecter of our faith. He's the beginning and the end. And so grace, we got saved by grace. We must continue in grace. Must continue in God's unmerited favour and not slip back into what we can do. Today, receive His abundant grace. See that God has already started a good work in your life, and He alone will lead you to and give you the victory in your area of need. Our thought today: grace is God's doing, His work, His performance, and His love in my life. from inception all the way to the end. And our prayer, Father, thank you for your grace, your free, undeserved favour and love for me. It's not about my trying, my doing, or my performing. I freely receive your grace, your favour, love and blessings for every area of my need today. I am blessed because of Jesus and Jesus alone, his work, his doing, his performance and his love in my life, from beginning and all the way to the end, in Jesus' name. So I will see you tomorrow. Enjoy the sunny day, and I hope you see someone or do something fun today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.